you think push-ups are easy? After all, it's just going up and down, right? Wrong. Because if push-ups were that simple, every guy doing 100 push-ups a day would have a bigger chest, stronger shoulders, and arms that actually fill out a t-shirt. But they don't. And there's a good chance you don't either. The truth is, most people aren't doing push-ups. They're just throwing themselves at the floor and hoping muscle magically appears. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do a proper push-up. Not the fake version, not the ego version, the version that actually builds strength and muscle. We'll fix the mistakes that are killing your results, break down the 4 pillars of perfect push-up form, and at the end, I'll show you a few advanced corrections that almost nobody talks about. And if you think your push-up form is already perfect, good. Let's test that ego. First, your body position. And before you skip this part because it sounds boring, this is probably the biggest reason your push-ups suck. Most people think a push-up is just a chest exercise, so all they care about is getting their chest to the floor and back up again. Meanwhile, their core is asleep, their glutes have left the chat, and their lower back is fighting for its life. A proper push-up isn't just a chest movement, it's a full body movement. From your head to your heels, your body should move as one solid unit. Think of it like a steel bar, not a wet noodle. Before you even do your first rep, tighten your abs, squeeze your glutes, and lock everything in place. Now, here's where things fall apart. The second people start getting tired, their hips begin to sag, their lower back caves in, and suddenly their push-up looks like a collapsing lawn chair. If your hips are hanging toward the floor, congratulations, you're not doing a push-up anymore. You're doing an impression of a hammock. Stay tight, stay rigid, because a perfect push-up starts long before your chest touches the floor. Now let's talk about your setup, because before you even do your first rep, most people have already messed it up. Look around any gym, or don't, actually save yourself the trauma. You'll see people placing their hands everywhere. Too wide, too narrow. Some look like they're trying to do a push-up, others look like they're preparing for an emergency landing. Here's the rule. Place your hands slightly wider than shoulder width. Not ridiculously wide, not uncomfortably narrow, just slightly outside your shoulders. Simple. Now let's talk about the crime scene, your elbows. Most people flare them straight out to the sides, like a chicken trying to escape the farm. And somehow they think this is good form. It isn't. You're turning a powerful pushing movement into a shoulder stress test. Instead, keep your elbows at roughly a 45-degree angle, not glued to your ribs, not flapping around like wings, somewhere right in the middle. Strong, controlled, efficient. And here's the funny part. The people with the worst push-up form are usually the ones doing the most reps, because bad form is easy. Good form is hard. The moment you fix your hand position and elbow path, don't be surprised if your reps get cut in half. Good. That means your ego is finally leaving the workout, and your muscles are finally joining it. Now let's talk about range of motion, or as some people call it, the part they completely ignore. Because apparently doing half the work and expecting full results has become a fitness strategy. Here's the rule. Every rep starts at the top. Every rep ends at the top. And in between, your chest should travel all the way down between your hands. Not your forehead, not your chin, your chest. Because believe it or not, this is a push-up, not a head nodding competition. And yet every day, thousands of people proudly claim they can do 50 push-ups. Meanwhile, their chest barely moves. Their elbows bend a little, their head bounces up and down like they're agreeing with everything the floor says, and somehow they're counting every single one. Congratulations, you successfully turned a strength exercise into interpretive dance. If you want a proper push-up, lower yourself under control until your chest reaches the space between your hands. Feel the stretch. Then push all the way back up until your arms are fully extended. No shortcuts, no half reps, no ego reps, because your muscles don't care about the number in your head. They care about the work you're actually doing. And here's the funny part. The moment you start using a full range of motion, your rep count will probably drop a lot. Good. We're not here to impress imaginary judges. We're here to build muscle. And muscle doesn't care about your ego. Now let's talk about the most ignored part of the push-up, your shoulder blades. Yeah, I know. Nobody has ever looked in the mirror and said, you know what I need? Better shoulder blade mechanics. But that's exactly why we're talking about it. Because this is one of the biggest reasons your push-ups suck and you don't even know it. Most people think a push-up only starts when they push themselves up. Wrong. A push-up starts the moment you begin lowering yourself. And this is where everything falls apart. Some people don't lower themselves. They just disconnect their brain and let gravity take over. 1 second they're at the top, the next second they're face to face with the floor. That's not a rep. That's a controlled crash landing. I've seen people descend so fast, I'm surprised they don't ask the floor for forgiveness afterward. As you lower yourself down, your shoulder blades should naturally move closer together. And as you push yourself back up, they should move apart again. That's how healthy shoulders work. The problem is that most people treat gravity like a personal trainer. They let it do half the rep and then wonder why their chest isn't growing. Listen carefully. You're lowering yourself. You're not not dropping yourself. If gravity is doing all the work on the way down, don't be surprised when your muscles do nothing on the way up. You're basically outsourcing half the exercise and expecting full results. That's like hiring someone else to study for your exam and wondering why you failed. Stay in control, stay tight, own every inch of the movement, because anybody can fall to the floor. Toddlers do it every day. The hard part is controlling the fall, and that's where real strength is built. If you've fixed everything we've talked about so far, congratulations. You're already doing better than most people in the gym. But we're not done yet, because there are still a few mistakes hiding in plain sight. Mistake number 1, dead hands. Most people place their hands on the floor, and then they just leave them there, like two decorative objects that somehow ended up in a workout. Instead of simply placing your hands on the floor, grab the floor. Imagine you're trying to twist it apart or rip it in half. Your hands won't actually move, but that tension will travel up your arms and create a stronger, more stable push-up. It looks stupid. It works amazingly. Now, mistake number 2, breathing. Or more accurately, for some of you, not breathing. Some people hold their breath through an entire set, like they're trying to defuse a bomb. Relax. When you lower yourself down, breathe in. When you push yourself up, breathe out. Your muscles need oxygen. Your brain needs oxygen. And judging by some of the push-ups I've seen online, some of you are running low on both. And finally, the free fall. The mistake almost nobody talks about. Most people obsess over the push, but completely ignore the way down. They don't lower themselves. They surrender. 1 second they're at the top. The next second, they're introducing their face to the floor. Listen carefully. The lowering phase is not the break between reps. It is part of the rep. Control it. Own it. Make gravity work for you, not instead of you. Because if gravity is doing half the exercise, don't be surprised when your muscles do half the growing. Now you know what a proper push-up actually looks like. You know how to position your body, you know where your hands belong, you know how deep to go, you know how to control the movement. So now you have 2 options. Option 1, close this video, forget everything you just learned, and go back to doing the same garbage push-ups you've been doing for years. Option 2, put your phone down, get on the floor, and give me 10 perfect push-ups. Not 10 fast ones, not 10 ego reps, 10 perfect reps. Full control, full range of motion, perfect form. And if your rep count suddenly drops from 30 to 10, good. That means you weren't doing 30 push-ups. You were doing 30 impressions of a push-up. Now you're finally doing the real thing. So stop watching, get on the floor, and prove that you were actually paying attention. The Core Man out.